Hey guys, Young back with some more naval action open world. So, I have met the requirements. As you can see, I got myself a Navy brig and I'm a junior lieutenant. And I'm free to start showing you guys some open world content. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to give you the basic what the heck you do when you start, because it's a different than sea trials and you'll have some questions. So, this is, let's go to the home screen. That's where we are. Yeah, okay, making sure. This is what you'll see when you enter open world. You'll be at a starting port. I'm not at a starting port. I'm somewhere else. I'll show you where I am later on. But you'll start at your starting outpost, which is the port of your nation that you've chosen. So, whatever nation you are, you'll be there, and this is the screen you'll see. Now, top left, you'll see home, equipment, skirmish, and shop. Skirmish has not been activated yet, so don't worry about that at the moment. It hasn't been implemented, so we don't need to talk about that. Home, this is where you select your ships and you can deal with your outpost. So you see I have my Navy brig and my basic links. And outpost, you can see Fort Royal was the original. I'm playing as my French character, so Fort Royal was the original location, the original outpost I've had, and then I purchased an outpost at Savannah Lamar. So I have two outposts now, which is kind of nice. That's where you interact with your outposts. You can also sell and repair your ships in this screen. So let's go to equipment. So we're looking at my basic links. So my basic links, you can see here, permanent upgrades, officers. Those two permanent upgrades you can get on a ship when you purchase it. The basic links does not have any, so it's grayed out. Officers have not been implemented yet, but there will be officer perks. And then you can see upgrades and weapons. And everything is drag and drop. So if I wanted to remove my warehouse, or sorry, remove my carronades and put them in the warehouse, I want to put them back. And now you can see here the class of the weapon. So it's a class 8. And that's really important because the deck can hold a class 8 and 9 weapon. So you have to match your weapon to the class of the weapon to the class of the gun deck. So you can't put anything on any ship. Let's check out the shop. Now the shop is where you're going to be purchasing modules, like I showed you on your equipment, your upgrades modules. You put your modules in your upgrade slots, so that's what that means. But you can see here, the price of the ships. Basic links will always be free for you, and you can just always continually, if you keep sinking, go back to your basic links, and you'll have that thing to fall back on. All ships that you buy have 5 durabilities. Now, a durability is basically like you can sink 5 times and then your ship is lost to you. So you'll return to port and need to repair your ship, but you will still have your ship. If you capture a ship, it will have 1 durability. So if you're sailing around in a captured ship and you sink, it's done, it's lost. You need to go back to your basic links or whatever you're sailing. Cannons you can see here, and just like we talked about the class, so class 5, So you gotta be really careful. Don't make the mistake I did and purchase the wrong class for the ship, and then at the moment you cannot sell modules or weapons. So if you have a warehouse at the port that you're in, you can leave them there. But if you don't, like I didn't at the time, it's kind of a waste. So you can carry it around in your hold of your ship, or you can just destroy it. Yeah. And the modules. Now the modules are pretty neat. So I mean, the modules give you all kinds, and you can see they're uber expensive, but they give you all kinds of different perks. So yeah, all different kinds of things. And like I said, skirmish has not been implemented yet. So let's take out the Navy brig. Oop. We'll show you. I don't really have any equipment on it yet. I purchased it, and I purchased cannons, and that was all my money. So I need to go out and make some money. So let's leave the battle, or leave the battle. Sorry, leave the port. Now, when you're sailing in the open world, some of you may have seen other footage. Time is accelerated, so we're guessing about 25% accelerated on real time. So it'll seem Kind of strange. Um, there is a bit of buoyancy issue, but they are working on it. It has been acknowledged, so that won't be an issue for long. But you will see the ship will travel at a accelerated rate because we are um, in an accelerated time. So we got a friendly French ship there, which is good. And we're just going to sail out. And what I did there, and what is different than open world is, or sorry, different than in sea trials and open world is, you use your right mouse button to click and look around. No manual sails control in the open world. Your cannons don't show up, but they are there. They will render them in eventually, but they just haven't been rendered in yet. But when you go into a battle instance, like I will try to get into, your cannons show up and your sailing mechanics return to how they were in sea trials. They've introduced a new damage model, so the cannons fire differently. There's drag on the cannonballs. They can ricochet. You can now set ships on fire. So there's just like a lot of cool things implemented with that damage module upgrade, or damage model rather, that they've introduced in the open world. It was really a surprise for me, and I really enjoyed it. I was shocked. It makes the gunnery much more difficult and skill oriented. And what else? What else? So there is a day-night cycle, which is really neat. Because it is accelerated, it goes rather quickly, but the daytime is longer than the nighttime, which is kind of cool. The sea state changes. You can get into storms, and oh my god, don't get into a storm. If you're in an accelerated time, um, you're traveling pretty fast. You go into a storm, you basically drop down to real time, going about 2 knots. And I was stuck in a storm for about 45 minutes, and it looks really nice. They did a great job. Like, I mean, the open world looks beautiful. They did a great job with the storms, but man, does it suck to get caught in one. So bad. Who do we got over here? So I'm going to click on him with my mouse. It's a constitution. I'm going to hail him. It's a Spanish constitution, and as you can see here, it's a Spanish constitution with a fleet. Right now, only AI can travel in fleets, so we know this is a AI constitution privateer and links. And the AI is much more challenging in open world, way more challenging than in the sea trials, and they have varying levels of skill, I guess. So some will be really good, and some will be pretty good, but you never really know what you're going against. So even if I'm going against, say, a privateer or something, they're going to give me a run for my money, or like the same ship as you is definitely going to, it's not going to be necessarily a walk in the park like it was in sea trials. And the world is huge. Now, I started out over, when I came over to Jamaica area, I started out on Montserrat, and I traveled in the open ocean, taking some compass bearings and some luck with me, and about 3.5 hours with some stops on the way and stuff, but about 3.5 hours to get from there to here. So it was just pretty interesting, to say the least. So the accelerated time is really helpful when you're doing those long haul. Can you imagine if there wasn't an accelerated time and I did that journey? Oh boy. There isn't a map introduced at the moment. There's going to be a map introduced, but there's actually a really kind of, it's a neat way to navigate, and it's really immersive, I think, in the whole Age of Sail thing. So I'll show you that at the end of the video, and it's really kind of silly. Well, I'll explain it now, and then I'll show it to you later. What we're basically doing is we're just using Google Maps. We're exploring, we're finding a location like that port I was just at, and then we are looking on the map and finding that out, and we have our compass in game, and we are navigating that way. So we're taking bearings, we're taking notes, we're plotting courses, head this way, head south-southwest for, X number of minutes, and then turn this way at this speed. So it's really kind of neat in that sense that there's the ability to have that kind of unknown feel and not really know what's going on. So this is a France and Spanish battle. Do I have, no. Okay, so and you see I have 81% crew. Um, I don't have a full complement of crew because of my rank. I expressed it as a junior lieutenant. Your rank determines how much crew you can have on your ship. So if I was like the first class and I somehow had the money to buy a victory, I would. you know, not have the crew to sail it, and it would really suck. Ah, so here's some French friends, and they're killed those guys. Okay, so this battle's done. But now you can see we're in an instance battle. So those cross swords that I joined was a battle in progress, and it was some French friendly players engaging some Spanish bots. Now we've returned into like a sea trial style combat arena, and I have control of my manual sails, as you can see. I am a little sluggish because, you know, I don't have my full complement of crew, but whatever. So there we go. I'm gonna fire my cannons just cuz. So you might have seen it there. There's some drag on the cannonballs depending on what way you're moving, what speed you're moving. The cannonballs will react to the velocity of the ship. And the smoke. There's a lot more smoke, which is neat. Okay, so there's no real need to be in this battle. So I'll push escape, and you can see continue surrender. So if I chose to, I could surrender, but I'm definitely not going to do that and leave the battle. So I will leave the battle. Yes, I want to leave the battle. And now it'll show me my results for that battle. There is an in-game chat for the battle as well that you can use. And I didn't achieve anything or do anything because, you know, I joined and nothing happened. They were all dead. So I will leave the battle, and we have this lovely loading screen, and then it plops me back out pretty much in the exact same spot where the battle took place. And as you can see, I'm invisible for 50 seconds, and I'm invulnerable for 109 seconds. So I can kind of make my escape, and if someone's waiting and lurking, I have that time to evade and get away. Woo. So I'll put my sails up, and we'll go looking for something else. So friendly Cerberus, that's okay. Yeah, I might need to go a little farther than where I'm at because it seems to be heavily populated by friendly vessels, which is a good thing because I can chat away and not fear being ambushed by a bunch of enemies. But kind of a bad thing for grabbing a small prize and showing that combat. But that's okay. We can probably do that in another video. So what we'll do now is I'll let them do that battle, and I'll head back to port. Now it's nighttime now, so I'm pretty sure I'm heading the right way. I'm looking at my compass. All that jibber jabber, and I wasn't paying attention to the heading that I was going at, but I see land here. So yeah, I'm going the right way. Which is good, because getting lost sucks. Let me tell you what. And I mean, if you're taking a compass bearing and you're going on a long sea voyage, if you're off by a little, you could be off by a lot when you get to the end, right? So it pays, uh, it pays to be right when you're navigating. And also clean your computer screen because you're constantly saying, "Is that sails on the horizon? No, that's a smudge. You gotta clean that off." Geez, so definitely save yourself some worry, and definitely clean your computer screen before you start playing open world, because you really need to squint on the horizon and see, you know, look at that. Who's that? Okay, so we got a friendly French Navy brig there. That's cool. Who's that? Uh-oh, Spanish fleet. You know, who's that? Big Spanish fleet. Get away from them. The ports are not rendered yet, so it's a building, but there's no textured rather. Sorry, not rendered. So there's just a building without any texture on it, but they will add the textures in. So you know, I'm very impressed, to be honest with you, with open world. Um, yeah, kudos to them. Great job. And I mean, with all the development in the works already planned, and now with more people testing the server, stress testing, finding bugs, um, you know, exciting. Now there will be trading in the game and crafting. It hasn't been implemented yet, so we're gonna do, it's like a slow rollout. There will be new functions, um, new patches, trying out new things. Yeah. So pull up to port, lower my sails, and click on enter. Bam. I'm back in the port. Yes. So same window, same everything. Now, if I had captured a ship or sunk a ship, it would show my gold, um, my total gold and my experience at the top. Also, I could, if I had captured the ship, I could have, in the battle, when the battle had ended, I could have chosen to sell it right there and then for money, or I could send it back to my home port, where I could then use it at the home port or sell it when I returned. There's a function called send it to the Admiralty, which hasn't been implemented yet, but probably got something to do with a lot of the nation building and things like that that are going to be implemented later with all the different nations. And yeah, before we end this video with the knowing the disappointment that we didn't capture a prize, but I will endeavor to show you that very soon. I will just show you basically what we've been doing for the navigation at the moment. All right, so the port that I just pulled into, Savannah Lamar, um, you can see it right here on the map. So there we are on the southwesterly tip of Jamaica. So basically what you do, the easiest way to navigate when you get into open world is like pull up map of Caribbean. There you go. Oh, too far. Map of the Caribbean. And playing as the French character, I started out down here in Martinique. And I basically explored all around. I went up and down these island chains. There's lots of British around here. And I decided to go out and see how far I could go east. So from Guadeloupe, I went east. Hour and a half, I hit the end of the map. So I decided to turn back the way I came, and like I said before, it pays to be right. I thought I was going back on the exact same track that I had come on, thinking that I hit Guadeloupe, but I thought I was going to hit Guadeloupe here. I actually hit Barbuda up here. So that's quite a distance of error, thinking you're going back in the straight line. So I messed around in here for a little while, and then I decided to go over to Jamaica because I felt the craze. I needed to get to Jamaica, and it's nice over there in Jamaica, close to Cuba. You know, very nice. But I digress. These waters here, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, the British Virgin Islands, crawling with enemy nations, not friendly, not friendly to the Empire. Um, so what I did was, instead of following the island chain, which is safe, I mean, you'll always be almost inside of land, and you can just kind of follow the chain of, but that'd take too long. So I went back down to Montserrat here, Plymouth. I used Plymouth as my starting off point, and instead of doing a straight line, which I should have done, I decided to go west and then north. But what I did was I went too far west and I started going north. And then I got worried. Started going northwest. And then before I hit the Cayman island chain, I turned around. Started heading this way. Then I started heading north again, and bam, there we go. Found Jamaica. 3.5 hours of really kind of nervous seamanship there. But it was a fun trip. And I can't believe I made it all that way just with, taking a bearing reading, taking like a compass reading, and saying, okay, I want to go this way, this long, do a bit of math, turn this way. It was great. Now the map, I'm just going to outline it. North Carolina, Wilmington, I think is the northernlymost port. And you do get Bermuda. I haven't been there, but I'm told Bermuda is there, and comes out, and we know about an hour and a half outside of these island chains, and then it goes all the way to the coast of Venezuela, and then you get all of the inner coast here of Central and South America. You get all of the Gulf of Mexico, all of Florida, and all of the islands in between. And the islands in the game are pretty close, pretty darn close. So I mean, like you can follow the terrain and be like, okay. So like I went up to Montego Bay last night, and Montego Bay pretty much looks like Montego Bay. So I mean, you sail around here and you go in there and you're like, oh, and then you get to Montego Bay and you're like, yeah, here we go. Excellent. And there's a nice little port there. Good food. Very good food. So that is the map, and that's the basic kind of how to navigate for a starter. And I mean, it's not perfect, but it really does kind of play to that whole immersion of the time period where you had an idea of where you were going, but there was a lot of variables in there. So, having said that, I'm gonna go and strive to capture a small prize and show you guys that. Hopefully set them on fire. That'd be even cool too. Capture one or set them on fire, I'd be happy. But I'm going to go do that. So we will catch you guys next time with some more naval action open world closed beta. Yes. See you later.